Chick-fil-A!
Those were for my troll class, but it works. I needed a longer intro for this. Let me change my. There we go. Thank you so much, Stephanie. I appreciate that. I only brought my phone with me to work, so not that I could share before because my I don't know what I'm doing. But well, welcome back, everybody. It's been a long day. Thank you, Michelle. You either love that countdown or you hate it. There's no really in between on that. Um, so we're going to go ahead and play the verdict, but I just want to kind of make a note, I guess. Um, Now, when I was friends with Lana, I felt like, she was funny and charming, and you know, I thought she was smart, but you know, there are some tendencies that are just really overpowering everything else. And I don't want to promote, but I have a clip, you know, of her violating the order. Like it's just crazy. So I'm just saying, everybody protect your identity always. I teach that in the troll class. I try to teach you how to do the alts and VPNs, and it doesn't matter if someone's demanding that you give your ID or your real name. Don't do it. Create alts. If you have your real name, back out, go create an alt. No one needs to know your information. Um, it's it's just nuts. I just there are no words, and so I was even going to try to start a little sooner, but um, I was looking into that, and there's just no words. Uh, Everybody on panel, y'all, Sister Knives, you with us? It's a little early for her still. Um, okay. Well, I what I want to do, crisscross applesauce. I love that name. Um, yes, do not have your full name on YouTube. Absolutely. We are seeing firsthand, like, this is not cool. Not cool. Not cool.
What? What are you? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt you, but you were saying I was dealing with something, but you were saying that Lana violated the PPO.
Yeah, and that's all I'm going to say about that right now. We'll do a discussion panel later and go over the trial and that as well. And we'll just have an open topic on that. Right now, I just
Gotcha.
kind of want to, her people are watching. She's watching, obviously. And, just give them an opportunity just to listen to the audio, kind of uninterrupted and let that be fair for both sides. And then I'll do a separate live for commentary and opinion, and then what we witnessed and visualized while we were there.
Gotcha.
Um, so we can give like the lawyers and what the judge was doing and what Lana is doing and all that. So I found that very fascinating myself. It's crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
missing in life. You changed your name. Okay, sorry, random fucker. I just read your name for the first time. That's hilarious. Okay, are you ready to press
Sorry.
play? Yeah, I just noticed it, and I know Sister Knives
I'm
is putting her
playing.
child down.
For some reason, it reset where I had it back to like before like the whole.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
gotta find it again. I'm
hold on.
looking for it.
Oh,
I'm trying to kind of having a hard time hearing over everybody, but it's okay. Oop.
sorry, I was yelling. My patient's husband was calling me, and I had to mute, so I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
Um, I was trying to. I gotta hear over. Like I'm trying to like hear what's going on and where we're at because it reset everything like kind of back up to like 12 o'clock.
Okay, it'll
So
be
I'm
four
trying to
o'clock. We were due back in court,
right.
so
It's
kind
right
of
before 4, and so I gotta find that spot.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We can just chit chat it up. That is no biggie. Okay. Yeah. I right. I don't know what made her. I mean, she might have some knowledge, and a lot of YouTubers have way more knowledge than I do. But even so, there had like something this serious. you had to take serious. But being that when she got the TPO, she didn't obey and respect the law then, so I don't know. I don't know what goes through someone's head, to every day violate, like, and the stuff that we've seen happen and done. Yes, she did, Michelle. She played the testimony. She's under a gag order and she's played the testimony. I have the clips. It's crazy. And only that she doesn't have, it doesn't matter. Andrea, I hope you're like still listening, but I mean, it just goes to show like I don't know, y'all. I don't know.
Andrea says she's here.
I'm trying to think of what reason or how can we,
All right.
get away with that. At what point, why are people still coming for Vanessa? We are watching this live, right? We're seeing her violate the order. We watched her violate the TPO every day. How is it okay? She is playing it publicly. I'm not going to advertise where it is. Absolutely will not. It's not on Truth and Transparency.
Okay, I'm ready. It
Okay,
should
for
be in
whatever reason,
screen
I could
share.
barely hear you, and I hope that's not my problem.
Okay, I'm ready, and it's in screen share.
Okay, cool.
Is that better?
Let me figure it out. Okay, God, you're so good at this. You're so smart. So smart. Hold on, honey. Let me find the layout so we can see our peoples. Oh, no, that's not right. Who's all up here? Oh, is it just us two? Okay, well, that makes sense. I guess she dropped off. Okay, is it playing yet? Or did I mess up? Okay. Hold on, guys. Penny, Mama Try, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, is it playing?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Stephanie, it's not playing. And I can't hear. I'm going to have to back out once it starts playing.
No, maybe she fell off or something.
Okay, just hold on. It's okay. I mean, why would this just run smoothly? Like, that makes no sense.
God forbid.
Well, meanwhile, while you're waiting, everybody, do the sub and click like, blah, blah, blah. Let me, okay, you talk for a minute, and I'm going to go to the DMs with Stephanie real quick.
Oh gosh, me talk? Does anybody have any questions that I can answer while we're waiting, or does anybody want to come on panel and talk? Let me go back through here and see if I can answer any questions. Or... My old backstage. Okay.
She kicked me off and didn't realize it as she was
Nope,
trying to play
it
it.
did not.
I'm like, what the hell?
Fantastic. That's no problem. No one to blame but myself.
We kind of need me in order to play. So, all right, I'm muting and I'm going to play.
Okay, and I'm going to fall off because I can't hear anything, and then I'm going to come back in. So, but it'll be playing. We'll be okay. Okay, everybody mute. Thank you. And this is the verdict for the March 7th between the two YouTube creators, Unmasked and Truth and Transparency, for the stalking kind of a permanent BPO, a PPO. It was originally just a TPO. But I believe we had escalated, and so let's see what happens.
All rise. Court is now in session. Thank you. Folks, please be seated. Please be seated. All right. When we started this case, folks, and just to be clear, we are back on the record. Let me get my computer set up here. We're back on the record with everyone present in the courtroom. It has been a very long day. This is 22C7. Before the court took a break to hear another very brief review and review the evidence, court heard summation. And the summation presented by the plaintiff cited the case McIntyre v. Jones, found at 194 P. 3rd, 519. The 2008 Court of Appeals case. You know, the court is always looking for guidance on these cases, and it's a defamation case, but it certainly gives a thorough analysis of what is protected speech and what's not protected speech. And that, of course, is great concern to the court because of the nature of this case. This case involves two bloggers, two YouTubers. Admittedly, I don't know that much about YouTube except what's been presented before me today. The court heard quite a bit of testimony. We accommodated the extraordinary length of this case. We were set for 3 hours. We started after 9 this morning, but it is now 4:06, and we've squeezed this case in between the other court's settings to hear this case. The court first heard from plaintiff Vanessa Walsh. And Ms. Walsh testified that she was a creator of a YouTube channel that had content about true crime. She explained to the court that viewers can leave posts or tag the creator. Those are akin to direct messages. That she first became acquainted with Ms. Oriana in this case. Through a post back in December of 2020. And that it was a post regarding the Christopher Watts case. While it's not relevant to go into the content of that case, that is what originated this series of events. She indicated that she contacted Ms. Oriana back on August 6th of 2021 for the first time. And since that time, they had contacted each other additional times. But then in September of 2021, those conversations turned from friendly to kind of a shift in attitude that the defendant, Ms. Oriana, had a blog that the plaintiff believed was in poor taste, that she eventually spoke in November. When they spoke in November, she had tried to fix this, was not able to. As things continued to escalate, finally on December 21st of 2021, she blocked Ms. Oriana. She indicated at that time that she had watched a live broadcast in which Ms. Oriana got upset. She was crying on the broadcast. And since that time continued to escalate her behavior. Ms. Walsh believed that Ms. Oriana had personal information, medical information that she was going to disclose. She had placed a picture of Ms. Walsh's husband in an advertisement on the YouTube channel, a teaser, and at one point had said in Exhibit 14D, "Do I have your attention now?" Ms. Walsh indicated that these continued and repeated contacts with Ms. Oriani caused her a lot of stress to the point that it affected her health. Caused her blood pressure to increase. It caused anxiety and insomnia. That she was fearful for her daughter. Because it's not just one person, it's the urging of other people as well. Next, the court heard from two associates of Ms. Oriani. The court first heard from Sarah King. Ms. King arrived from Iowa with Ms. Oriani. She met Ms. Oriani through a true crime channel. She's a personal friend of Ms. Oriani's. Indicated that she and Ms. Oriani had arrived on Friday, and they came to see Jamie Abeda. Ms. Oriani was staying with Ms. Abeda, and that Ms. King had helped serve papers for Jamie Abeda on Sean Walsh. The court then heard testimony from Jamie Abeda. Ms. Abeda's testimony was that she drove Ms. King to serve the subpoena. She had hired Ms. King to serve the subpoena. She indicated that she paid was going to pay Ms. King $50, although Ms. King testified she had no idea how much she was being paid. Ms. Abeda was aware that the subpoena had been quashed and had been told so by Ms. Oriani, at least as far as the minor child goes, but had not served the subpoena on Mr. Sean Walsh in a timely way. Rather, this was being done the night before the hearing. And finally, the court heard from Ms. Oriani herself. She indicated that she is from Columbus, Ohio, that she's been a resident of Ohio all her life, and that she started blogging in March of 2021. That's when she first went and did a live video on YouTube. The court found that her testimony really strayed from the issues before the court, but the gist of her testimony was that she'd never met Ms. Walsh, never threatened her family, that being the family of Ms. Walsh, and did not believe that the protection order should have been granted in the first place. And repeated that as well in her summation. In Ms. Oriani's summation, Ms. Oriani talks about the first prong of the test, which the court had read to the participants earlier, and that is under 1314-104.5. The court needs to find that one of the categories, that there's an imminent risk of harm to prevent, assaults or threatened bodily harm, or 2, to prevent domestic abuse, 3, to prevent emotional abuse of the elderly or an at-risk adult, to prevent sexual assault or abuse, or number 5, to prevent stalking. The statute providing for permanent protection orders, which is 1314-106, has the court re-examine prong number 1. Okay, because this time the evidence needs to be subject to a challenge of cross-examination. So while I can take judicial notice of the application and motion, the court needs to take a look again at those reasons for a protection order. But interestingly, it does not require a finding of imminent danger in order to have a necessary prerequisite for issuing a permanent protection order. And that, of course, is, one, we were talking about it in January, and now it is here in March. But I examined those facts on the first prong to make sure that there were grounds constituting good cause for the issuance of a protection order, and that 2, unless restrained, the defendant will continue to commit such acts or does acts designed to intimidate or retaliate against the protected person. So we've got a 2-prong approach. And before and after, which has been emphasized over and over again by the defendant, is a point really well taken. What was before the court at the time of that first hearing to justify the protection order, and then what's gone on since then? Well, we're going to take prong 2 first. Okay. Frankly, folks, all hell's broken loose since the order of protection was issued in January. That order of protection was issued on January 13th of 2022. I have a return of service indicating that it was served upon the defendant on the 17th of January in Iowa. And since that time, there has been an extreme escalation by the defendant. With allegations that not just once, but twice that order of protection has been violated. Since that time, in reviewing the exhibits that have been admitted, And let me go through those with you. The court has admitted Plaintiff's Exhibit 2A, 2B, 3A, 6A, and now we come upon some weird numbers, 7, 2A through 7, 2E. So we have A, B, C, D, and E, 8A through 8G, and 10A through 10H, all of which have been admitted. And since that time, the situation has greatly escalated, and had the court had that information beforehand, I would have definitely said under 18.3, 602, 1B and 1C, there were grounds for issuing the protection order. 1B talks about a credible threat to another person. And seeing and I don't care if it was a Nerf gun or not, being repeatedly fired and practicing aim, the court was greatly alarmed by that, and do find that that would cause a reasonable person under the totality of that conduct, fear for their life and fear for the lives of their loved ones. The court finds by a much more than a preponderance of the evidence that if, unless restrained, these acts are going to continue. They're going to, similar acts are going to continue, or maybe different acts designed to retaliate against the protected person. Okay, but that begs the question as to prong number 1. At the time that the court issued the protection order, and it was this court that issued the protection order, what was presented? Well, frankly, the defendant herself talked a lot about that application. And at the time, at the time of that application, the court knew several things. The court knew that the plaintiff had threatened to divulge medical information about the plaintiff, had put her picture, or put a picture of Sean Walsh in the ad, a teaser for the Christopher Watts case. Had indicated that she had become so alarmed with the repeated tags and postings that she had to let her daughter know that if she would see this person come to the home, because the person had threatened to come to her home, to not let her in. And in reviewing the exhibits, the exhibit that caught the court's attention was the one that said, "That'll get your attention," or words to that effect. That's simply code for, "I'm trying to cause you emotional distress." There is no other legitimate purpose for these items than to cause emotional distress to Ms. Walsh. These are not, this is not issues of protected speech. under McIntyre v. Jones or any other case. While the two parties are limited public figures, that does not create open season on their private lives. So it brings the court back to, brings the court back to 18.3.602, subsection 1C. A person commits stalking if directly or indirectly through another person. The person knowingly, repeatedly follows, approaches, contacts, places under surveillance, or makes any form of communication with another person. Okay, well, here what we have both repeatedly contacts and repeatedly makes any form of communication, because whether it's a direct telephone call, whether it's a tagging, that is contact, it is a form of communication. So repeatedly follows, approaches, contacts, places under surveillance, or makes any form of communication with another person. A member of the person's immediate family or somebody with whom the person has or has had a continuing relationship in the manner that would cause a reasonable person to suffer emotional distress, and does cause emotional distress. Well, I do find that Ms. Walsh has testified quite credibly, and frankly is the only credible witness here today regarding her level of emotional distress. I find her testimony at the temporary orders hearing credible, and the testimony at the permanent orders hearing credible. And finally, she need not show that she received professional treatment or counseling to show that she has suffered serious emotional distress. So I do find that prong number one, by a preponderance of the evidence, was met at the time that the court issued the temporary order of protection. I don't find it relevant to the court's consideration that there were no direct threats made by Ms. Wariani, especially as the behavior escalated. Under 18.3.602 2B, under the credible threat definition, credible threat means a threat, physical action, or repeated conduct, emphasis on repeated conduct, that would cause a reasonable person to be in fear for the person's safety or the safety of their immediate family. And the last sentence is, the threat need not be directly expressed if the totality of the conduct would cause a reasonable person such fear. And the court does find that the totality of the conduct does cause a reasonable person such fear. And that is the credible threat that resulted after the situation escalated. So at this point, the court now believes even stronger than I did back in January that a protection order is necessary. I did grant this order of protection under the guise of 1C originally. If examining the facts again today, I find it even stronger under both 1C as well as 1B that it is necessary. Counsel, are there any further findings that you are requesting?
Your Honor, I don't request any further findings. I do have a question regarding the language on the protection order, because Ms. Oriani stated in court both while she was testifying in her closing that she has been in perfect compliance with the protection order in this case, and that it has been easy. And it seems as though she might think the protection order only requires her not going near Ms. Walsh, and I would appreciate if the court could add some additional language.
All right, well, I think it's important that I don't make any ruling regarding, or any judicial finding regarding whether or not that temporary order of protection was violated. I very well could be the finder of fact in a court trial that's held. This is a very small jurisdiction in a big metro area, and I have a criminal docket. You saw me doing one this morning before you came in. So let me add some additional findings and see if that takes care of this. Ms. Oriani, I don't find your testimony credible. I found your testimony to be at many times incomprehensible and wandering, and that there is a definite fixation that you have on Ms. Walsh, and it's a very unhealthy fixation. That there appears to be the motive here, and I heard quite a bit when I was commenting during your testimony. That was really for your benefit, for your ears. That what I was hearing from you was simply more motive about this passion and that you had for Ms. Walsh, and an extreme interest in what was going on with Ms. Walsh. And it's important that now that the order of protection will be made permanent, that you don't violate it, that this seems to have been caused from maybe some hurt feelings that Ms. Walsh had not wished to follow you or to associate with you, and that led to this stalkering type of behavior. But now that order of protection has been issued, it's important that you understand that you are responsible for following the order of protection, and that third-party contact especially not be practiced, because third-party contact is a violation of this order of protection. And I'm going to leave that up to the police and the district attorney's office to figure out whether or not they believe probable cause exists. But I can tell you, I did not find Ms. Abeda's testimony or Ms. King's testimony credible either. That there was nothing about what happened in the serving of the subpoenas, and there were 2 subpoenas served. I don't find that it was credible to assert anything, but that that was done only for the purpose of harassment. That was done, there's no legitimate reason, first of all, for the minor child to be served. I quashed that double check my date on that. I had quashed that protection order back on the 20th of February. And if I'm looking at a calendar,
it was quashed on the 28th of February.
Thank you. My contacts are starting to stick a little bit. So the 28th, so that would have been, yeah, because the 20th was on a Sunday. A week ago today, there was no legitimate reason other than to say, ha ha, I'm here, and I know where you live, and I'm out to make sure that that I have your attention. I think those were the words. I have your attention now. That was in Exhibit 14D, that intent to inflict more emotional distress was there. And certainly it was not timely filed on Sean Walsh either. And so it's important that you and your associates understand that that's going to get you in trouble. I find that was done at your direction and is not appropriate. And in the future, will get you in trouble, okay? Again, I can't emphasize anything more to you than contact through third party is contact. Ms. Oriani, do you have any further findings that you wish me to make?
No.
All right, well then I'm going to instruct the clerk to prepare that order of protection.
Same as the original.
Same as the original.
Stephanie, still let it play. I wanted them to hear that they let Lana out first and had us wait behind and then had us go out, but made sure Lana had left the property before we left. But that's fine. I wasn't gonna keep going. Okay, let me pull these pictures down. So, what do y'all think? Do you think it was a fair ruling? Do I hear Lana's people saying that Lana didn't get to tell the whole story of all the people that are involved. And she did throw her two friends under the bus. She absolutely did. It's horrific. I think it was fair. I really do. You know, if Lana had gotten the TPO and then just sat back, got offline, reflected, you know, I think there would have been a different outcome today. I don't even think a lawyer could have fixed this shit show. I really don't. I don't think she has a lawyer now because, oh my gosh, thank you so much for the donations. Holy crap. But I don't think that, you know, she has a lawyer. She is live streaming the trial. Does anyone see? Like, that's unbelievable. And I can't even wrap my head around that. And when we were in the courtroom and when they first brought up that she had sent them to Vanessa's house the night before, I have it timestamped where you can hear me gasp because it was so loud. Couldn't, I, I just couldn't believe that they did that to try to serve that minor child. What the hell is wrong with these people? And then you still have people over there just going on about how Lana just didn't get a fair shot. Their big fight is that I've obtained this audio illegally. What they should be focused on is what is in this audio. And I mean, it's just crazy. And yes, Unmasked Patreon. I think we've posted it a couple of times, but we can go ahead and do that again, and I'll have it in the description as well. We need to try and maybe help build her channel back up, y'all. She had to lay low. She couldn't fight back. She couldn't argue. Could y'all imagine me not being able to say anything for the last few months? That's what she's had to do. She's had to sit quietly, you know, and just do her once a week. I think the Patreon is what came up. But that's I couldn't imagine me having the restraint to do that. I know I couldn't. Oh God, it's very, you know, I can make these videos and I say whatever, but it is very stressful. It is very, God, you lose sleep. She messes with your head. She toys with you like a cat and mouse game. And it's no longer amusing and funny. It's dangerous.
And I just wanted to add something about earlier I was hearing talk about that you recorded it. Guys, it's literally impossible that she recorded it on her phone. The judge was, I'd say, several feet from us. We were at the very back of the courtroom. There's no way that that audio would have picked up the judge as clear as what it was.
Right, right. Well, they're just trying to
And
deflect. And that's why I've dismissed all those comments. I'm not even
I
addressing them
just
anymore.
wanted to add
I've
it
made a
though.
video, or Sister Knives made a video showing her receipt, and that's in my
Oh,
post.
okay.
So
Gotcha.
we've covered that, and these people that keep coming up with that, they're just forgetting. They're just trying to deflect, and they're trying to say, "Oh, Lana didn't get to do this and that." Hey, y'all, the judge gave her an opportunity to connect her dots with all these people involved. It didn't work. There was no connection. It was irrelevant, and it's all she was trying to do is justify her behavior.
Is there anyone here that's here in Lana's behalf that would want to come on panel? Or maybe someone that doesn't really have an opinion either way. I'm just kind of curious to hear another, another perspective.
It is her own fault. If just so many things went wrong, and I can't wait to actually go back over this and pause and commentary with people, because I am not a lawyer or any kind of field of law, but I saw so much wrong with the process and what so many steps just a series of bad decisions. Let's just say that. And the series of bad decisions is what landed her in court to begin with. People are going around saying, oh, this is just going to stop our, freedom of speech. And it did. No, it didn't. And quit being ridiculous. Quit taking away from what she did. Quit downplaying what Lana has done. Quit blaming the victims. Quit blaming the people standing up to her. I had someone comment on my page yesterday, my channel, y'all. They said, oh, okay, so Lana has a video, right? She's had it for 3 months. I made a video about it. Someone said, oh, so you bring attention to that video. Oh, okay, okay. And, no one was even paying attention to it. Are you kidding me? You came to my channel, blamed me for Lana making a video with all of my personal information on it, and somehow I'm to blame? I'm not putting up with this bullshit anymore. And if y'all see people doing that to people, to these, to the ones that have been harassed, like, put a stop to it.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
the
right.
second somebody even tried to say something over there, remember that girl got blocked.
Okay, yes. So someone did. We've had a few people. I've had a few people contact me that were Lana supporters, and they were like, "Oh my God, I didn't even realize until I saw this." Right? Um, she tried to tell the subs over there, like, "Hey, there's a situation. Go watch the trial. Just go watch the trial." And then I believe they were blocked and hushed. But I know a few people went and changed their names, and they made new alts, and that's great. No one needs to know what your old alt was, and no one needs to know your name. So, and they're still over there. There's still some of them over there just cheering her on, and like, I'm so sorry and then she's still saying that Vanessa lied. She was saying, how can I, win this when Vanessa just lied so much?
No, Vanessa had proof to back up every single thing that she
Mhm.
said. 100%. Everything that was in that PPO was presented.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. There's no other way to look at it. It's black and white. The facts were
Oh,
the
that
facts.
there you are, just Samantha. It was just Samantha. She got blocked.
Yeah, and see, that's really messed up. So because somebody has a different perspective, you're just going to block them, or they
Oh, absolutely,
decided to
she
look
does.
from a different point of
Yeah,
view,
absolutely.
you're going to block them. I mean,
Yeah.
not everybody's going to agree with the way that she acted towards Vanessa. Not everyone's going to agree with that. Rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah, that judge really was spot on for not knowing anything about YouTube. I mean, she really took it to the basics and she nailed it. She figured out the lies. I mean, she was really good.
and I really
It took
think
me
that when
longer.
we
It took
did
me
the
longer to
break,
figure out Lana was a liar than it did the
when we
judge.
did the breaks, I think she went back and kind of tried to research some stuff.
Oh yeah, because she came back saying, "Well, didn't all hell just broke loose after I signed the TPO." She thought it was going to be resolved, and instead,
And I'm
yeah,
just saying, someone that has been doing this sort of work for 30 years literally said that it was not credible. It didn't make sense what she was saying. I mean,
yeah, they gave her
you
how
know,
many hours, y'all?
people need to look at that. Look at the facts. I mean, a judge is not going to say all that unless it's true. What does she gain from saying all those things about Lana? Nothing. There has to be truth in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. She was really fair for real. Hold on, I'm trying to do something real quick. Okay, I got I got the kids blowing the phone up here for spring break tomorrow. And I have no voice, and here I am taking off work again to go party it up with the kids. I'm not even well from the last few days I took off. Melissa, do you want to come up and chit chat? And it's not even so much insight. Like I'm really genuinely concerned. I I'm at the point. I feel like I just want to just give up on even trying to expose anymore. Like this is just so bizarre and crazy, and that it's still being accepted. I'm struggling with that, and I'm having some emotional feelings about that. Okay, I'm I'm all about someone else having their opinion, and I respect that. When it comes to something like this, I don't feel like they're being honest with the person that I think they're hurting Lana more than being honest with her. But who can be honest with her? I mean, everyone who's tried, we've ended up being, burned.
Yeah, I mean, she I don't even know. Just to see it actually all fold out, it, being there, you can just see the emotions and how she acts. Um, it was just very bizarre. It really was,
Mm,
like, just not her, but just like the whole situation was just like very bizarre to see it in real life.
I know. That
Definitely,
judge
she
was
needs to
over
take a
there.
step back and reflect. I mean, if a judge tells you that, and just the way things laid out, that's she truly needs to sit back and think about, like, hey, am I actually stalking this person? Did I actually do these things? Like, it's harsh to look at yourself and to admit those sort of things, but I
Hmm.
mean, that's not the only person that this has happened with. There's several other people in the community that this is the same situation but different people.
Now, what made them act in part of this? Like, what made Jamie and Sarah go over there to deliver a PPO to a child? And they both admitted it had been quashed a week ago. They both knew that. Can anyone please help me? Has anyone heard anything? Have we heard from Jamie? Have we heard from Sarah? Like, what are they thinking? What were they doing? There are several victims, and it makes me so angry every time they laugh at it and they mock it and they attack the people. Like, don't let them do this anymore. Y'all seen it? It's been laid out. Do I think if Lana had a lawyer, would it be different? And she still had these actions? No, it would not be different.
Well, she may have a lawyer now. I mean, she did state she
Well,
did
she's a
have one.
dumbass because she's playing the court recordings.
Yeah, that's not very smart. Which, I mean, based on the fact that it's public information now,
She has
I
a
mean,
gag order, and she is a stalker about Vanessa. She cannot be sitting here playing Vanessa's stuff on a social media platform.
well, I
Someone
guess
and
we'll
her
see.
people are encouraging her.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. I mean, if she goes to jail over it, I mean, you know,
Clippy, I'm beginning to think that's true. I don't think those are her friends. I think they are just in it for the drama.
yeah, but you said yourself whenever you tried to come to her when you were friends with her as a
Yeah.
friend and tell her you didn't really agree or you felt something
Oh,
was
I
off,
know.
then
I did.
you know, so I'm sure people probably don't want to, face, a lot of people don't like to face confrontation or just create
Mhm.
confrontation that's unneeded. It's just easier to agree and go along. I do that myself. Hell, you know that. I agree with you all the time.
And they had to reiterate with her so done with it. They had to let her know, and it's stated in the paperwork already. No third party contact either.
Yeah, wasn't that at the very end? Didn't the judge say that there was no contact
Hmm.
whatsoever, even through a third
Yeah.
party?
Yes. I think I'm gonna write YouTube legal. I don't know. That was just crazy and creepy that she was doing that. No. I know,
Is
Sister Nines.
Yeah, I mean, is there
Yes.
anyone here that has a different view of the case other than our view? You know, that would like to come up on panel?
Bianca, what now? She has a small group of people encouraging her behavior. That video was posted in Lana's group before it was on YouTube. Which video? And which YouTube channel? Like, what do you mean? Which one? Mine? Thanks, Holly. Oh, so it would be a felony if she violates. I was wondering how that worked. And I know that the lawyer gave her a courtesy notice that criminal charges were being filed, at least one. I think they had multiple reasons to do more. I don't know. Well, I don't know the specifics, but I'm just saying I witnessed it what felt like a bunch of violations.
Yes, it really did feel. It felt
Ooh,
like way
Delenn, I
more
want to hear
than
about
what
that.
was actually done. But
There's actually 6 categories of stalking. I had no idea. I didn't know that.
wow, I didn't either. I mean, but oh yeah, and like at the very end when the judge was talking, she was reading straight out of their the book, their law book for Colorado. She was sitting there reading out of it. So,
Yeah.
and then she was basically placing in the situation and then reading out of
Oh,
that
Rocket
book.
Man.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, to like say like, okay, this is where your case is fitting into this.
Oh my God, Bianca, I'm sorry. Scary. I donated to her Fight for a Family, and the next thing I know, she's got my background. Oh my God. That's a whole separate thing that I'm doing with American Express because she's supposed to be a nonprofit and then used my information to gain my background, which then she turned around and put on YouTube. So, instead of me, because there's no need to like sue her because she's just lame and broke and drunk. So I just make my videos. Um, But yeah, she did me wrong. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. What? Oh, Bianca, I'm so sorry. So Lana had my ID in a trailer, and I have to track your credit daily. Yeah, that judge was furious. That judge, y'all, had her hand on her forehead and eyes probably the last 4 or 5 hours. Every huff and puff and paper slam, like it was funny. Yeah, that's how she'd hold her head just the whole time. Every time, Lana would go to cross-examine or ask a question, and the judge had just told her, like, quit talking about Father Snuffles. Now, she doesn't say Father Snuffles, but, and she's like, she's like, why do you keep bringing that up when I told you to stop? And, I think Lana's just saying stuff like, well, because I want to, I want to bring it up. What the court, I think, was trying to show, it doesn't matter your reasonings for trying to come at her like that. You just can't do it. Talking crap is one thing and having some kind of drama, but you cannot do the things that are being done. Okay, stalking is also a class 4 felony if it occurred while the accused was under an injunction, protective order, or other court order which prohibited. Oh crap. Well, I know for a fact 3. She paid someone to go deliver subpoenas that were quashed, and that was directive from Lana, because I think one of them said Lana told them to, right? And then they try to, back out. Um, she's streaming the she's streaming the freaking court proceedings, y'all. Oh my God. She's not even allowed to talk about it, but she can stream it because it's on her phone, and she's just making faces and playing it, so it's not talking about it. She has no damn sense, and her people are just fools. And then the other one was I can't remember now, but heck, those alone is just yes, yes, Bianca, right? The nerve. How can she stream it? And oh, I have the recordings. We already have it recorded, and you know we're whatever, whatever gets done gets done. But I mean, how crazy is that she was playing the court proceedings from my live on a channel.
I mean, I'm sure she's probably very upset that they're being played and not being able to voice her opinion. I'm sure that she's really upset about that.
No, I do too, Bianca. And yeah, that's why I was like, if she had a lawyer, they would have to have dropped her by now, because she's just more of a liability, I think, than anything. And plus, what lawyer is going to take her on when her last lawyer sued her, and she has a judgment against her because she wouldn't pay her lawyer. So if I
What?
was a lawyer, yeah, if I was a lawyer, I wouldn't take her on.
She has a judgment against her for not paying a lawyer, you said?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So hold on. Yeah, if she had a lawyer, of course they would have took the deal, because Lana, of course, has just violated everything. And it's a felony stalking charge if it's violated. So that's 8 months to 2 years. And I know of at least one, or well, every day with that TPO, but the one that she came to her house, like that was scary, where she sent the people to Vanessa's house. And then today streaming this. Like that is so crazy, y'all. She's she's going to end up in jail, and with good
Yeah.
reason. She
Yeah.
just can't control herself. She cannot help herself. She'd rather go to jail and then earn her little sympathy votes over there, because all she said all, Vanessa did was lie, lie, lie. How am I supposed to blah, blah, blah? When she lied, lied, lied. Anything that came out of Vanessa's mouth, they had, evidence for, or,
Yes, there was
Lana had
proof
more
of
than
it.
opportunity to. Mm-hmm.
Well, see, I think it was is that she was trying to just connect things that just were irrelevant to the actual case that were hearsay, and I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it really was all over the place, and I don't know. Maybe she
So
didn't have enough time to like go over it or what,
is
but
Tag Your It still here?
I thought I seen them in chat a few minutes ago.
So someone asked about if someone else was wanting to do anything. They had a bunch of references, and we could reference this case because she has threatened retaliation already. I have it on. I already have it recorded where she has threatened to put a TPO out on me if she loses. Now, mind you, she had already been to the cops there, and they were already aware. Like, she was lying. There was no. I did not ever threaten her life, y'all. No. Those are her famous words. Oh, they threatened me. They threatened my son. And I hope her ex seriously takes a good look at this trial. You know, I know everybody's upset. Oh, she's a mom, this and that. Well, then tell her to put her freaking social media down and shut the fuck up. If you're so concerned about her child and her being a mom, someone tell her to sit the fuck down.
Damn,
I don't know what that
LaLa.
means.
Mic drop.
Well, I mean, I'm just, ugh. I was trying to stay neutral, sort of, through the whole thing. I
Girl,
I had my
no.
pictures and stuff, but I
Bye.
was trying because I knew everybody would be listening. But this is ridiculous. You
Or
and
not.
Lana, give me a freaking break.
That's
She
why
is a
I was trying to
sociopath.
get somebody up here that was,
No one is supportive of her. They're over there just watching the shit show, dude.
I'm not saying supportive. I'm saying just someone that is neutral with the situation. Not
You're
so
about as
much
neutral. I mean, you're
supportive
about as neutral as
either
it
way.
gets, and it pisses me off. You're my best friend. You have
What?
to hate her.
I'm not being neutral. I agree that Vanessa, I'm in agreement with all that.
We have gotten in some arguments over this mess, y'all. I'm like, you're my best friend. It doesn't matter what I say. Lana is shit, and you have to agree with me. But she tried so hard. She tried so hard to say there's no way she's that bad. There's no way she's that bad. I'm like, okay, keep watching.
I mean, I
Well,
honestly,
I've
I
seen some
never
stuff.
watched either one of them. Neither one of them have I ever watched. So I don't know if you would consider that. And
Okay, yeah, I do kind of consider that a little bit.
well, I mean, from what I've sat back and seen, I absolutely agree that Lana was stalking her. I've never watched either one of them ever, really anything at all, unless like something was brought to my attention. But Unmasked, I've never seen, probably not even one episode. But I absolutely agree that she had every right to feel the way she felt and do what she did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know some people have had some feelings about this, okay? But I have noticed, some people have kind of backed off the topic as more information has come out, and I am glad for that. You don't have to like Vanessa to know what Lana is doing is wrong.
Right. I agree with
That's
that.
all we have to focus on. It doesn't matter who is. It's the actions of Lana. Don't even look at the other person. They didn't do anything. They stayed quiet.
Yeah, and again, I can't even re-say this enough,
I
but
mean, look at Melissa. She
Vanessa
stayed
was
quiet
so
forever
like,
and just keeps taking more and more shit. And it
yeah.
doesn't matter what Lana
I do
shared private
agree. And
pictures.
I mean, I've
Period.
never actually even talked to her, Melissa, but wow. I mean, she gives her a lot of shit.
I know.
And I feel sorry
And
for. I mean, I
Andrea,
honestly like yeah, and Sister Knives, like it's like
Tiff,
crazy. I
mhm.
don't really hear a lot from their ends of things, although I don't really, get into all the channels. But anytime I've ever seen anything from them. It's not really, you know.
Mhm.
it's
No,
just-
and that's the thing. That crazy girl chick, whatever, she's over there just boom, 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 writing all the stuff. Well, they didn't even get to go over how deep this goes and how many people. Does she not hear herself? Does she not see that there's no connections? That these people were not all involved with trying
yeah,
because Lana literally said, y'all, she literally said, like they did this because I was so close to the truth.
yeah. I didn't understand.
Wow.
I was confused on that. But you're yourself. You were friends with Lana. You were supportive of Lana, and like you said, it was put into the perspective for you that she was the person being hurt for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So I can easily see where other people would have that view as well.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not shaming anybody for that, because when you have somebody telling you something and they're spinning off this story, that if that's what it is, it's really hard to just it's easy to get caught up in that
Yeah.
that
Well,
is
I
the
thought
truth what
everybody
they're
was
saying.
what she was telling me. I thought it was truth. That's why I've been asking y'all. Not everybody over there, is bad or evil. There are a few handful. I ain't even gonna lie. Oh my God. And they keep coming over here under alts, just so y'all know. But um, yeah, they fabricated that stuff. And she had been fabricating this, and Lana says that she's 10 steps ahead. Well, think about that. She had Vanessa's husband in a trailer before Vanessa even knew who
hmm
Lana was, before they spoke.
Yeah, yeah, that was and see, I was right. It wasn't a Shazam trailer, correct? Because
I
you
don't
kept
know.
telling me, I don't think it was
I think it's a
Shazam.
Chris Watts. I thought it was but she
Yeah, but
said
I
something
thought
about,
it was a Shazam situation.
I don't know.
Somebody knows. I know somebody in chat remembers hearing if it was I'm pretty sure it was like, stay tuned for
It was
season 2 of Shazam.
for what it says from Shazam What a Day, but it was about Chris Watts. It wasn't about Shazam.
But it was a Shazam
And
trailer.
y'all, we came so close to getting to see some shizzy poo trailers up in that sucker. Oh my God, it was so close. Did y'all just taste it, huh? You heard it coming out and
Yeah,
oh,
because the
Vanessa.
lawyer even
Oh,
said,
I was
we
so
can
proud
play
of
it
her.
for you, but it's very what did she say, disturbing, but we
Disgusting or
can't play it.
disturbing, yeah.
And then the
Hmm.
lawyer, and then the judge was like, no, I'm good. I'm not trying to get all up in that.
Yes, and I made a video about that shift. The guy who tells her your son's going to end up being a murderer, she's put him up as a someone they didn't look into, and the title is very misleading, and with his picture, saying there's other suspects or something, and it has his picture there. Well, she had to delete all the comments and just left hers up that said, I'm not saying he's a suspect. I'm saying they didn't look into him, blah blah, whatever. Like, she is very dangerous with her platform and that platform. And I'm not really about cancel culture, but I don't know, in this situation, she needs to go. She
Yeah,
shouldn't even be on anyone's panel. She shouldn't be able to spread the misinformation. Everything is a conspiracy. Everything is wrong. Everything is wrong that she says. It's
and Miss
so
Heather,
bizarre.
she was upset when she left. She was pretty upset.
Yeah, she left
When she
everything
left.
behind. She left her jacket. She had stuff on the floor.
Yeah.
She was just trying to hightail it out of there.
Well, see, in a way, I kind of was like, okay, she's gonna go, she's gonna reflect, and like she's gonna realize maybe, she did play a hand. Like, instead of being like, I did nothing wrong, everybody's lying. I thought, maybe she would go reflect and be like, okay, maybe, I had a part in this. Maybe I got myself here. But I don't think that's what happened, because then, she went out partying, and I'm like, wow, like, I guess she
Yeah.
just decided, that it didn't, whatever.
Yes, it violated the PPO. Absolutely. Do you see Vanessa out here being able to even come and comment on this and stuff? And
Yeah.
she didn't say anything, but she probably could have come in here and commented, but I don't think she could sit over there on her channel and stream my live and with the gag order. That's crazy. I hope. I'm not gonna lie. I hope Aaron is watching this.
And Vanessa was very you know, I
Forgiving,
didn't she didn't
really.
strike me as the type just to go off the deep end like that, and just start,
Mm-mm. She was
talking
being
mad.
very reasonable, and she still didn't sue her for the
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, yes, exactly. She seemed to be very reasonable and fair with what she was trying to do.
Yes, Miss
And
Heather.
she was very level headed. She wasn't emotional. She wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
up and down with her emotions at all. She's like, I just want to do this and be done with it. And so, I mean, that was another reason why I was like, okay, well, I can really see her point of view. And she's just really trying to just live her life and move on with her
Mm-hmm.
life and do her channel. I mean, and that's really the only vibe I got from her.
Yeah, someone wrote me today, and in fact, it was so offensive that YouTube didn't even post it. It was making me approve it. I sent the screenshot to a few people to get some opinions. Should I post this and just address it, or what should I do? And they're like,
Oh,
no, do not post it because everything in there was a distraction. Everything was a lie, like everything. But they were doing the exact thing that what landed Lana in court. They were sitting there, and just talking about how classy, Lana was, and that I crossed state lines to commit a crime. I still don't know what crime I've committed, but I'm waiting for it. And
didn't
that the
didn't they
judge is
say
going to
I
be
was a
mad.
silly girl?
Wait, the judge was going to be mad because I put egg in their face and disrespected the courts by playing an illegally obtained audio. I'm like, I couldn't even post it, y'all. It was just so ridiculous. Um, and
Yeah,
then, oh, my background saying that I am a criminal for stealing elderly people's pills and or I was convicted of stealing elderly people's pills and getting high. And what? No, that is not what happened. In fact, the person that's on panel um, was my little road dog. So she knows exactly why I got in trouble. My little ass got in trouble. So, and was not that. I wasn't even doing this kind of work then. So,
yeah. I don't know. I think they just kind of made up stuff and ran with it, honestly. And you know what? Whoever you were, you're an asshole. You call me a sewage dweller, whatever. Really? I was like,
uh,
damn.
oh, they were
Okay.
saying, yeah, they were saying, oh, you showed your true colors.
Oh my
I've been
goodness.
showing I've been myself. I am sassy. I am not typically like hateful and mean, but oh, and even with Lana's videos, I make them more funny. Even though I'm like, hurt or whatever. But if I hurt someone's feelings, y'all, and I'm going off on them, 9 times out of 10, I'm usually turning around going, okay, oopsies, my
Well,
bad, I'm sorry.
I really wouldn't worry about stuff like that, to be honest with you. It just doesn't, I don't know. It just doesn't bother me in the way it bothers you. I honestly could care less. But
I don't know, Miss Heather Dizzle.
everybody's entitled to their own opinion. If they feel a certain way about you, that's okay. That's their opinion. Who cares? Move on.
Mm-hmm. It's true, Shift. That is very true. Lana is acting this way when she put on there Vanessa Wash named in a lawsuit. She totally skips over she is in that lawsuit. Now,
Yeah.
what did she think she was going to do? Like win this one and then just win that one? I hope she represents herself with Lynn too. Get it, girl?
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody said something about a court hearing. I said, well, okay, well, me and LaLa will have to go report on that one too.
Yes, you will,
We'll have to
DeLorean,
go
because I didn't
watch
see
that
it.
one too. Another
Yes,
road
DeLorean,
trip.
you will. Oh, Lord. Mm.
Are you serious? There's not one person. I've done asked like several times. One person to come on panel that will.
It is Sarah is before Jamie's. She's because Jamie left and the judge didn't want to put a warrant out for her, so she gave her a little bit more time and let Sarah testify. And then Jamie come in. I talked to my lawyer, and I am not blah 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 whatever. And basically, the judge is like, "Sit your ass down," you know.
You could tell she was very scared. Like when she came in there,
He
like
was shaking. Well, they both were.
she
They both
was
had
scared.
attitude. Yeah, they both had a lot of attitude. Also,
I didn't really get attitude from Jamie as much. I think
oh,
she
I
was more
yeah,
just like scared.
true, true.
And I kind of got the vibe from her. She was more scared. I got the vibe from Miss King that she was more, I don't want to say arrogant, but she was just more like, it is what it
Wait, wait,
is.
wait, wait.
You know,
Hold on, hold on. What do you mean? What did? Oh God, what did NC write? Hmm. No, obviously I haven't seen that.
she might have been talking about her post from like when everything first happened.
No, because
That, you
she.
know,
Yeah, I don't think I've noticed anything new. Um. One attorney can represent a few people. It doesn't have to be classified as a class action. Hmm. Maybe that's something to look into. So it was a few days ago. Oh, I'm not worried about before the trial was played. I have wrote Natasha in private about that, um, and we can agree to disagree. And what, DeLorean? Stop. Even if they're all in different states, let me tell you what I would hire Vanessa's lawyers. The disdain that they had for Lana,
oh
I
man,
I felt love for them. I had a girl crush, and so did so did.
I did.
I, oh God, that was
I just
hilarious.
love their drive just in general. I just like their drive. They were awesome. I was like,
Man,
man, if
they
I ever got, I would hire them.
yeah, and they were younger, and they were and so they were hip to the situation for sure. And boy, they've been on top of their game. Oh man, they were on it, and they really just sat back and um just let Lana do her thing. The judge had asked them like, please just let her finish so we can go. Um, and so they wouldn't object for a while. They would try, and that one, the redheaded, was just like, oh, she'd just have her hand on her chairs, ready to stand up every 2 or 3 seconds. And she's like, I'm sorry, Judge. I just can't. I can't let her continue. And I'm confused. And the judge is like, that's true. Me too. I just can't even understand her. She's like, move along, Miss Oriani. Let's just get this done, kind of thing. Like they gave her um, so many hours and chances. So anyone saying she didn't have an opportunity to give her side, that's not true. And the judge tried
Yes,
to
that
help
is
her.
crazy. I don't know how people think like she didn't have an opportunity to. Ah, I mean, it was hours and hours. I mean, I know we got to break it up, but when you're actually in the courtroom, like
Whew.
it felt as long as it was.
Yes,
You know,
it did. It did. It
when
was. Whew. Yeah, can y'all imagine? We broke this up into 3 different segments. We sat through it in one day. I was so tired when we left, and then we went and had a dinner. We had a nice dinner. But while I'm at that dinner, I hear another live, and it just busted my spirit so bad. My spirit was crumbling. I didn't even want my steak no more. I didn't even want my cheesecake. I just wanted to go to bed and just forget it all. I was so done with it all. I was so frustrated. I just felt
well, that
defeated.
might have been how you felt, but I enjoyed my dinner and I did not lose
Yeah, well,
my
yeah,
appetite over it.
you don't have the time invested in the Chris Watts case
I
and the
agree with
players
that.
involved.
I
You
agree
know,
with that, and I know that's why it's and I know it's that for a lot of people in here, and I do not have that time invested, and I have not been affected directly by her.
wait, what? Why would LaLa record everyone's stuff that day when she wasn't even in the courtroom? I don't know what that is. Yes, the one thought per question. Boy, she just kept going, and then she was throwing little snide marks at the end, and the judge called her out on it because, like, Lana, this is not YouTube. This is a dang courtroom. You can't just keep badgering your dang witness and try to discredit her. It was awful. What did they write before I append it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, all the shaming of Vanessa and all the messages I keep getting, and it's like, dang, I don't even understand. And then people are like, "Oh, how can you call yourself a victim? You've been making videos." That doesn't mean I don't like using the term victim, but I most certainly am. And just the one video I showed, it proves it, right? Just one. That's not all the weeks and daily and hours. One time I was out there handing backpacks and stuff out to the homeless, and she had did like 3 lives about me that day. Just
Well, it
talking about how
wasn't only
horrible.
about you. She had brought in your ex-husband, who clearly has had nothing to do with you for a very long
Right.
time, minding his own business, and your family. I mean, you know, your very
Yeah.
personal
And
information.
they all came over talking about my kids. Day one, mic dropping mom, to the moon, Crystal, every one of them.
Uh.
And Lana had something to come over and say about my dang kids. See, I don't have kids. Those are my nieces and my nephews, that I had. And they all had something to come over and say something about it. It was crazy. And they're going to talking about kids and stuff. Lana weaponizes her child, and I'm not afraid to say it. Anyone who has a problem with it can probably kiss my ass or go tell her to stop, and I won't have to say it. Like, it's terrible what she does to that child. I reported her PayPal for child exploitation because it damn sure was. And I truly feel that. I'm not just, saying stuff to say it. Yeah, I'm tired of walking around eggshells with her. I didn't say anything for weeks and months. It's not happening anymore. The courts were proven to have enough evidence to show that this girl is a true cyber stalker or a stalker. And y'all need to wake up to that. Oh, let her
Oh
no,
no.
no, she ain't coming after Mama tried. Promise you that.
To be honest with you, I honestly really don't care. She can say what she wants. She can make videos. It doesn't bother me, to be honest. I'm an adult. So it doesn't really bother me. My
I like
opinion is
you to say that
facts of
too.
what it is. I mean, I'm not,
Oh,
the facts
so just
of what's
Samantha,
going on. So.
listen to this. Listen, Mama tried. Listen to this. So, how
What?
about the end when she started with her birth and her closing statements? Let me tell you what she had a freaking novel that she brought up to the stand that she thought she was just going to sit there and read line for line, and that's why the judge was like, "What are you doing?" Lana was reading, had her head down, and was reading. I was born in
Oh,
Ohio. I am a mommy. I'm like, oh my God, no, she didn't. Like, she has no clue what she's doing. And yes, I can sit back and revel in it because, like, she's tortured us for so long. I'm going to enjoy this moment, and I don't care how shitty it makes me look. And when you sit in my shoes and went through what I did, maybe you'll enjoy it too. You know, it was the right thing that happened. It was what needed to happen. And I dang sure drove over 1,000 miles to see what was going to happen. Because if Lana came out winning this, we would never have gotten the whole truth. Even Lana losing this, we weren't getting the truth. She was already twisting up and lying about her witnesses. She didn't have any. She had said she had 8 to 10 people on that paper. She only served the daughter and the husband. Psycho. After being
well,
told an
maybe
emergency
she
injunction not
thought,
to do it.
maybe at one point she thought that's what she was going to have. Maybe people told her, yeah, sure, I'll come and do that. And then for whatever reason or another, they backed out.
Because
I
there's
mean,
nothing to witness, y'all. She lies and twisted it up, and her little people just go along with it. But when it comes down to the facts, she didn't get to stop and laugh with this maniacal, crazy laugh and distract people. These people were focused on what she's saying,
right.
and what she was saying was shit. All she did was just confirm what she had done.
Well, and I also feel maybe she already had it like planned out, the things she wanted to ask and what she wanted to say, because she thought
Okay,
they were irrelevant to her. But, when the judge said
relevant.
they're not irrelevant to me,
They're
then
not
it
relevant.
kind of was like a slip up, like, okay, so, you don't want to hear about the sex panel, or you don't want to hear about this or
Yeah.
that, which makes it relevant in her mind, I think. But
So many people were like, "Oh, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there." Well, yeah, the excuses started flying in.
Yeah.
except for Crafton's ex-stalker, Lana gets cozy with all the exes and people who, I mean, it's just, wow,
Which I was talking to her in the hallway before it started. I didn't know who she was. I mean, but you were like, don't talk to people you don't know. I was like, oh well, you already know
That's
me. I'm
true.
gonna come up and talk to anybody and be friendly.
But you know what? Didn't they address that? I don't know if it was after court or before court, that the fact that what those two were willing to, what lengths they were willing to go to please Lana was a concern
Yeah,
to them. Was that? Did y'all
yeah,
hear that part?
something was said along those lines, but I can't remember. I remember hearing it. I just don't remember what part.
Yeah, I can't remember either now, but it was something along the lines, and she called them nut jobs. The people that are what Lana can send out, in the information and the lies that she is spreading, she can, trigger a nut job to believe it, like someone's really threatening her son or, all these other things, or Vanessa's this horrible person's been doing all these horrible things when in fact she has not. The evidence that Lana is showing and proving is bullshit. And so y'all need to wake up to it because, oof, she
See,
can
and
get
I
in
and
jail. It
I
don't matter.
actually haven't seen a lot of all that. I truth be told, I don't really watch a lot of Lana stuff, but um, I'm curious to know how much things have actually been not the truth that people that do watch her all the time have caught, and now that they've heard the court case, like, okay, well, no, that wasn't accurate what she was saying. I'm kind of curious to know,
Hmm.
but no one will come up on panel and talk about it. So,
Well, no, they won't because it's bullshit. Everybody knows. No one wants to admit it, right? They've been supporting this and they've been
I
fighting the fight and they've all gotten their hands dirty in it. Nobody wants to admit, holy shit, Lana's a stalker, y'all.
I think
And
it's more along the lines of maybe fear of repercussions.
hmm
that is possible.
I mean, look what she's already been doing.
yeah, when the judge said all hell it broke loose, she said, I entered a TPO last week. And then she walks into the 4 o'clock mark and she's like, and all hell broke loose. I was like, oh, damn. And then when did y'all hear how she read that number 5 to prevent stalking? I was like, holy shit. I sat up in my chair. Yeah, they are embarrassed. I would be too. Just, I wouldn't go support her. That's for sure. Or be up her ass saying, oh, you were done so wrong. That Vanessa is just so wrong. Like we're all of us are wrong and Lana is right. Give me a break. You look like idiots. Seriously. But
Well, and you have to ask yourself too, if one person has a situation with multiple people and it's the same situation, then obviously that person is most likely the
mhm.
issue. I mean, most people that
DeLorean, it was. Wait, hold on. Look
go ahead.
what the DeLorean said. I wish they would have let that whole tire story receipt thing been a permissible. It was, and the lawyers didn't even bother with the cross examination in it because Lana had just already just admitted and owned enough. There was a whole bunch of stuff, but she did. The judge even warned her, if you go down this path, it can be used against you. Are you sure you don't want to, invoke the Fifth Amendment? Nope, nope. So did y'all notice that Vanessa's lawyers didn't even cross-examine her? They just want her to leave, Vanessa alone. And obviously it's not going to happen. She's proven it's not going to happen.
Yeah, because I think the receipt situation came up 2 different times, but it was both by Lana, not
Of
even
course.
by.
Oh, she couldn't stand it. She just had to shout out my name again. That bitch cannot keep my name out of her mouth. She just, every opportunity she has, she is shooting off my real name. But oh my God, I got to make a video about her saying, Aunt LaLa, the drunken troll is up in this courtroom. It's in transcript. It's going to be in her transcripts. That's going to be like the first thing she reads is my name. Read my name every day.
But do the transcripts actually show, like, you know, like
Everything
how the
said on the
audio had
record.
it? No.
It was on the
Okay.
record. Yeah, we were on the record.
I'm
Court
talking
had was
about
in
even the
session.
breaks and all of that. I mean, all of the in-betweens, everything's going to be on transcript?
Yes. All of everything with Lana, like that kind of stuff, the drunk control is in the, gallery, going to, she called me, what'd she say? I was a public figure. Oh my God.
Did
Y'all
that
wait till
make
my
you feel
video.
special? Did that
I'm
make you
almost
feel
done with
special?
my video, y'all. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. I'm walking down the red carpet and everything. I have a troll walking down the red carpet
What's it like to be a
with lights
public
and
figure?
cameras on me. I'm like, what's up? What's up? I'm a public figure. So stupid. Oh my
Okay, I'll look
God.
forward to that one. That's pretty funny. Boy, she
Yeah.
shouldn't tell you stuff like that. She don't even know you. Now you're gonna be full of yourself.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm all up in that
Every
court
time I
document. I think it's hilarious. I know.
every time I don't answer the phone, why you answer the phone? You know I'm a public figure.
I know. In court, I'm a VIP. I was TMZ
Yeah,
on the ground, baby.
a public figure.
Oh god, yeah. I'm gonna finish my video tonight so y'all can
Hey,
see. I've got most of it done. I just gotta find the right music. Gotta find the right song.
I'm
I don't
gonna.
know yet. We'll get to it. I
Oh,
don't know. Yeah, she claims she's in a safe house. Let's see. Types transcripts are.
did she testify about being a double major in business and criminal justice? No, I don't think she did.
No, but her first file, they asked she was naming them as she went because they were like, well, what is this label called? And she was just like, double D. And she snickered and smiled. And that was the beginning. That was at the beginning. But if you listen to the very last no from her microphone, there wasn't no snickering going on. She had to just sign 3 pieces of paper talking about how she's a stalker, you know, and I know it probably did not feel good having me in there. And I felt for that. That is awful. But
Yeah,
I can't get
I
past
felt
all the
pretty awkward.
opportunities for her to do right and then pass them up, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I felt
It
pretty
could have been.
awkward for her. I mean, obviously, I don't
Mhm.
want to see anybody, whatever, but it was awkward. And you were like all trying to make eye contact. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh
I
God.
can't even look up right now. I'm just like,
Oh God.
I don't even know what to do at that point. I just felt so uncomfortable. It was just very awkward.
Well, I thought it was funny that you can hear the huff and puffs on the sound bites. At certain extreme, comments like if the Andrea Powers and the Father Snuffle stuff, like we were sick of it. The judge even got tired of hearing their names. But I think what happened, she went back, probably in her chambers when she went to go kind of deliberate what she was going to do. And she probably looked up these people, looked at me, Andrea. She had to have seen something because she come back pissed off. All I know. I hope to God they saw my videos.
Surely she was irritated. I mean, just because she had made it very clear that she spent her whole day on this case and she was just,
Mhm.
I think she was just done.
Yeah.
I
So
think she
when
was
she
just
did
done.
leave court and then she went on live and was crying and stuff, I'm like, okay, maybe this sunk in. I thought, oh God, thank God I don't have to make any more videos. I can move on and do something different and, get back to my channel, what I want to do with it. But no, no, no. While, she had the whole community in uproar and feeling bad for her and this and that, she goes to the strip club and then she had posted that she was leaving YouTube. I have a screenshot. She had put up that she was leaving, blah, blah, blah. And then, she replaced it with tagging me about me threatening her or something. I don't even know. Um, yeah. And instead of spending money on these people donated their money for a lawyer for her. And then she has just blown it in Florida and strip clubs and proudly does it.
I
So,
mean, but people knowingly knew that and was still donating. So I just kind of feel like they're an adult, it's their money, they can spend how they want. But
yeah, just Samantha, she walked up to the podium, to the witness stand. I think at one point the lawyers were uncomfortable and said, hey, come to us first with what you have or something. Um, hey, did we get to hear the lawyer say, "Don't address me, don't talk to me"? Like
Oh,
they
I didn't
couldn't
hear
stand her.
that.
I know.
I
If
was
y'all go
I
back
was
and play
trying to
it,
hear that.
her Vanessa's lawyers tell like Lana's like, "Oh, let me show you something." And the lawyer's like, "Don't talk to me. Don't tell me anything." Like, she just stuck her hand up and was like, "Don't address me." Oh God, it was so good. They had so much disdain for her. It was that was satisfying. I'm sorry.
Well, I just think they were probably well, as the judge too, just you could just feel a lot of irritation and frustration only because she was she was going over the facts of things that had already been established.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I think that was a big frustration because it's like, okay, that's already been established or that's already been asked.
Mhm.
It, like, and
Yeah,
then it kind of
she
kept
didn't get
veering off.
permission.
Yeah.
She had at first she was going up there, and then they had her sit down, and then as she wanted to bring something up, I guess the lawyers wanted to look at it. They changed it at first because she was just walking up there, and everybody was uncomfortable. Like everybody, and oh my God, Vanessa couldn't even catch like her breath. Like you could see her breathing was like I don't
Oh,
know.
I
You could see
know.
the anxiety. I just oh God, it was awful.
Yeah, you could tell she was like just,
Oh God,
yeah, you could tell she was really uncomfortable.
yeah, so crazy. Okay, guys. Well,
Mhm.
I'm at work and I have the kids, I guess, wondering when I'm going to come get them or how I'm meeting them, whatever else. But yeah, I'm glad we got through it and everybody gets to go back and listen and, you know, hopefully,
I'll use your phone. That's fine.
hopefully, people see the truth and they come around to it as painful as it is. You may have to leave Lana. I mean, the truth, you go with what the truth is. Don't think there's all these conspiracies and the judge was out to get her because Lana said last time she liked the judge. The judge was fair. So
Yeah.
yeah, she was
Yeah, I
allowed to
agree.
seize
I
her
agree
phone.
that judge was real fair.
Yeah, because
And
Lana got there and her computer was dirty. First of all, her computer was nasty, but her computer wouldn't work. So she didn't check it before court for her computer to work. And so they had to send the stuff to her phone. And then when she told the judge, well, I have it on my phone, the judge is like, well, unless you want me to seize your phone, you know, oh, it's been great. Please seize the phone. Let's find out Rocket Man. Let's find out all that good stuff.
well, I don't think it was that her computer wasn't working. I thought it was just because like they the plug wasn't working that she was trying to plug it into on the ground. It wasn't charging it
He
or
said it
something.
wouldn't come on. I don't know. Well, couldn't she have charged it
Yeah,
before
I
court?
think it was. I seen her trying to do the
Wouldn't there
charger.
be
And
another
I think it
plug?
was
I
just
mean, she wasn't prepared. Instead, she went out to the strip club and apparently, probably snuck some stripper in and had a good time because her hair was just a hot mess of tangles. But it looks like there might be some regret now, and then she's gonna have some bigger regret playing this courtroom shit because uh-uh.
yeah. I don't know if what's going to happen with that, but that probably shouldn't have been what to do. Is play
Hold on.
that.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, guys, I'm
No,
on a
no, no.
48-hour shift, and I am. Oh, what?
I was like, just stall for 3 more minutes, maybe. Not even. I wanted to show everybody why I wasn't in chat.
Huh?
I just wanted to show why I wasn't in chat as
Oh,
much as I
okay.
normally am. And I'm like probably 5 pieces away, and like they're the easiest pieces, but I can't get the arms in.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, which way
Thank
is
you, Michelle. Yes, everybody sub. I'm so close to being monetized, and that'll be perfect timing to like get Lana out of the way. I don't have to deal with her anymore. I'm like hoping she'll just be stopped, but obviously she's not. And then I can just move on to some fun stuff and whatever. Whatever. Okay, are you ready, Stephanie? Because I am like getting so sleepy. Wait, where is she?
yes, I'm like
Oh,
I'm like okay, I'm just snapping everything together.
oh, okay.
As soon as I can get it to snap in there.
Cancer sucks. Yes.
Right. And then it goes and falls out.
Thank you, Incognito. I appreciate it. And y'all, the donations were incredible. I know I saw, Atlanta had collected like 300, and I thought, gosh, I really thought she was gonna, have more than that. And then I saw one like for 1,200. I thought, okay, well, she can at least probably work out something, with an attorney, and even if it's Better Call Saul, she can have some kind of representation. It's
Oh.
better than herself. Um, but she was saying that the lawyers were telling her that she was better off representing herself or something. I don't know. But yeah, I put one up and it was like just in 2 days. I mean, it just had like, I don't know, like $500 donated. It was crazy. I was so overwhelmed with like, oh, thank you. It was just a relief.
Yeah, it
I had
was
the money
really
to go.
amazing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
had the
it
money
was
to
amazing.
go, but it was just, I was able to take care of both of us for our trip going. I mean, so that meant a lot, because I really wanted to go because I knew the only way we were gonna get that truth back was if I brought it back.
Never mind. It's okay.
Oh, okay, honey. Well, we'll do it.
The arm is yeah. I'm gonna have to show another time.
Okay, no problem. We'll go live and do a discussion. You come up and show me.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming in, and just make sure you like and subscribe. Appreciate it. And try to protect the people who feel that they are victims. Let them have that, and don't take it from them. And don't make it worse. So that's the best advice I could get, and just don't encourage any bad behavior. Okay. All right. Good night, y'all. Thank you so much for coming by.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.